new babe.
So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction, man. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now, I feel like this video here, I just feel like it's about to take a shot at all the people who got money. Like, the people who got money. Like, you know what I mean? Blow your nose with stacks of 100 type money. You know what I'm saying? Just ridiculous amounts of money that you could never possibly spend. Reason why I feel like it's going towards some of those people because, well, it doesn't have exotic, so I could be completely wrong, but this is just my thoughts before I go into the video. You know what I mean? People who have like crazy amounts of money, they tend to do what? Go out and buy some exotic animal. You know what I mean? Some white tiger or some rare species or some rare snake that you can only find here, but you had to travel on a boat. And once you got there on a boat, you had to take a special helicopter and it took you to the exact coordinates of this spot to get this specific. Like, people with money just buy ridiculous things because they can. I feel like this is what this is a dig at. But either way, bro, we got to be careful with some of our animals, fam. Our animals. As most of y'all know, I recently became dog owner. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, bro. Being a pet owner is a lot of work. I forgot. I kind of want to stand up. If it wasn't for the fact that when I stand up, I would go completely out of frame. I would stand up like I'm at an AA meeting or something, or sit down. Or however it goes, I've never been to one, and be like, yo, my name is such and such. I'm a dog owner and I'm here because I need help. It's a job, bro. And I have 2 pets, same age, twins. And you know what I mean? But back to the topic at hand, 8 household animals who ate their owners. You've got to be careful with these pets, man. You always hear the stories, and I don't know if they true or fake or not, whether about the snakes they have these big old snakes and they always laying with the snake and the snake crawls up beside them, but they don't know the snake is, you know what I'm saying, gauging their size to one day eat them or something like that. I never know if those stories are true or not, but even if they're not true, they make me think to the point of I'm very cautious around somebody who has a snake. You know what I mean? And some of these other just exotic or strange pets that people have, you have to be careful. A lot of people just go get wild animals, man, pull them out the wild, and they think they can tame them, and now they're a household pet. It's not how that works, bro. It's not how that works at all. But we're going to check this video, man. But one thing before we do, you got to run the lights up, bro. Run the lights up. So hit the like button at the end of the video. Let me know if you like the video, all right? Let's check this out.
Here are 8 household animals who ate their owners. These barbaric beasts will make you think twice about getting yourself a pet. Today's video was done in collaboration with Down the Rabbit Hole. More on that later.
I think that's like the perfect title right there. They will kill you.
Number 8. The Flesh-Eating Lizards. When Ron Huff didn't show up for work, one of his relatives became very worried and called the police to his apartment in Newark, Delaware. Mr. Huff was the owner of several flesh-eating Nile lizards, which he would reportedly allow to roam freely around his house.
Wait. Excuse me. So I'm making a pet out of a lizard that's name is Flesh-Eating Nile lizard. That's what I'm doing. That's what people are doing these days, bro. And I'm just letting them roam free. Like, eventually they're not gonna get to my flesh. Like, what? Hello? The name. The name. Flesh eating, bro. Flesh eating. What do you thought that meant?
flesh-eating Nile lizards, which he would reportedly allow to roam freely around his house. The largest of them measured around 6 feet and weighed 25 pounds. In the wild, Nile monitor lizards can eat birds, eggs, and other animals, and in captivity, they're usually fed raw chicken and liver. Ownership of these animals, which are considered exotic pets in Delaware, requires a permit specifically from the Department of Agriculture. It remained unclear, however, whether Mr. Huff did have exotic pet permits for all of these lizards. When the police arrived at his apartment, they found the reptiles feasting on their owner's decaying corpse. Armed with small and very sharp teeth and muscular whip-like tails, these animals have the ability to cause serious damage to a person. A team from the Delaware Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals recovered 7 reptiles from Mr. Huff's apartment. The SPCA's intentions were to place them with the educational groups or into zoos. A subsequent medical report was unable to determine the root cause behind Ron Huff's death. An attack by his beloved lizards was not overruled.
As Queen would say, you got what you asked for, didn't you? You got what you asked for, didn't you? I mean, flesh eating. What did you think could possibly happen one day? And my thought process with certain animals is they just be sitting around till they get ready. They know your meal whenever they get ready. You know, maybe they just want to spare you. I don't know their thought process, but you're a snack that you hide in the back of the refrigerator. You know, when you hiding it from everybody, that's what they looking at you like. Just put him back there. Nobody will know. Whenever I'm ready for it, I could eat it any given time. That day they were hungry.
Number 7. James Little. The emergency services were called to 61-year-old James Little's Oregon house in March of 2011. This was after a report by the man that his dog had consumed part of his body. According to animal experts, dogs have an instinctual tendency to remove diseased flesh. In accordance with its instinctual behavior, Mr. Little's dog ate 3 of his toes while he slept. The man did suffer from diabetes, and a common symptom of the disease is numbness in the hands or the feet. This was seen as the primary reason why he didn't wake up in screams as a Shiba Inu was eating his flesh. Animal control officers took away the dog and concluded that it didn't pose any threat. And despite
So y'all mean to tell me them little 2 jokers up there, them 2 bears I got up there, if my toes become diseased, they'll just eat them right up? Huh? No, they're mine. I need those. Even if they become diseased, they're my diseased toes. You don't get the right to choose to eat them.
Despite losing 3 toes, Mr. Little recovered and decided to put his dog up for adoption. Number 6. Carrie Waldo. 27-year-old Carrie Waldo from Jackson County, Kansas, pled guilty to second-degree child endangerment after the family's pet ferret attacked her infant son. On the 10th of January 2010, the police were called to the residence of Ryan and Carrie Waldo, where they found a 4-month-old covered in blood. The couple told the investigators that they were asleep in the house at the time of the attack and that the ferret had never bitten anyone in the past. After using GPS tracking technology and acquiring cell phone records, the investigators later discovered that the couple had been texting from 2 different locations at the time of the attack. It was also revealed that the ferret had bitten the infant twice in the past, and that the Waldo family was trying to get rid of it and had previously contacted a ferret rescue organization. After seeing his son in a pool of blood, Mr. Waldo threw the ferret into a dishwasher, killing it instantly. The infant was taken to a local hospital in critical condition, with only 2 thumbs and a partial pinky still attached to his hands. 7 of the infant's fingers had to be amputated because they'd been chewed down all the way to the knuckles. The presence of human blood was also discovered inside of the ferret's stomach. As part of the sentence, Mrs. Waldo was given 2 years of probation in order to attend a 30-day drug recovery program. Mr. Waldo, who also pleaded guilty to second-degree child endangerment, was ordered to serve 40 hours of community service. Both were denied contact with their children while carrying out their sentences. Number 5.
That's just cold, man. And I hope they got rid of that dishwasher. And if they moved, I hope they got rid of that dishwasher. That sucks, bro. I know a lot more happened, but that was the one thing, besides the child, that I thank God the child is okay. Let me say that. I don't want y'all to think I'm insensitive. Y'all know by now I'm not. But after that and everything, smoke clear, I was like, did they get rid of the dishwasher? Or if they moved, did they let the oncoming people know that the dishwasher was, you know what I mean? It had, at one point in time, it killed a ferret.
5. Janet Veal. On the 4th of April in 2013, the decomposing body of 56-year-old Janet Veal was discovered on the kitchen floor of her Ringwood house in Hampshire, England. Mrs. Veal was estranged from her husband, lived alone, and was described as a bit of a recluse. The woman's neighbors had alerted the police after noticing that she'd been absent for a very extended period of time and that her letterbox was literally overflowing. The police investigated, using a ladder to enter the semi-detached property through an unsecured upstairs window. What they discovered inside the house was described as a distressing scene. In the kitchen and the living room, they found the rotting carcasses of a cat and a dog. A thick layer of trash covered the floor, and the house had not been aired for weeks, possibly months. Several of Janet Veal's pets had already died of starvation when they arrived, but the few that had survived did so by eating parts of her dead body. She was gnawed and eaten by her cats, which had not been fed in weeks. A post-mortem medical report concluded that the woman had died of natural causes, possibly related to a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Number 4. Harry and Sally. After their 51-year-old owner tragically committed suicide by shooting himself in the face, 2 pugs named Harry and Sally were forced to eat his remains so that they wouldn't starve to death. They survived by consuming pieces of his brain.
So at this point, you know, they're gonna do whatever they need to do to survive. You know what I'm saying? It's apparent at this point. They're gonna do it. They're animals. They're gonna do what they need to survive.
His face, and his torso. They were discovered by police in Papillon, a suburb of Omaha, Nebraska, in December of 2009, found several weeks after the time of death that the investigators had determined for their owner. Even though no trace of blood or human tissue was found in the digestive system of either dog, it was the only possible conclusion that the police would arrive to in order to account for the missing body parts in the cadaver. Harry and Sally were taken by the authorities, who wanted to assess the physical and the psychological impact that this ordeal had had on them. After an extended examination, it was concluded that they were in perfect health and that their temperaments were normal. They were deemed eligible for adoption and soon found a new, loving family. Number 3. Sandra Piovesan. In July of 2006, the body of 50-year-old Sandra Piovesan was discovered inside a 50-foot by 150-foot enclosure in her backyard where she kept 9 wolf dog hybrid canines. Mrs. Piovesan...
What y'all about these wolves? Wolves and wolf dogs. Anything with wolf in it. Stop it, people. I know some of y'all like, no, they're the cutest little thing. They're cuddly. We just adore them, man. But everybody else who's been affected by him is like, oh, never a wolf again, bro.
Piovesan's daughter became worried after her mother hadn't shown up for a meeting they'd planned for the morning of the incident. She talked to her father, who then went to the house where Mrs. Piovesan lived alone in order to check up on her. He discovered her partially eaten body inside of the enclosure. When animal control and state police arrived on the site, they euthanized the animals by shooting them with darts containing a deadly serum.
They wouldn't have had to do that. You'd have been coming in there getting bodies, picking up dead animals, bro. I'd have walked in there just spraying them down. He's gonna kill somebody, eat their body, and euthanize. Oh, that's one word they wouldn't have had to use.
After the autopsy, the investigation concluded that the woman had sustained multiple soft tissue wounds and that her death had been caused by the wolf dog attack. An animal expert claimed that wolves normally run away from humans out of fear, and that breeding them with domestic dogs eliminates this fear, which can make them even more dangerous. The canines reportedly weighed 70 to 100 pounds, and some of them were 7, even 8 years old. The animals were reportedly healthy prior to the incident.
70 to 100 pounds, 78 years old. That just made me nervous. That number just made me nervous. And I'm going to tell you guys why. If you've been over to my vlog channel, you know I got my dogs in January. So they're around about 6 months right now, right? They're 75 pounds as of a few weeks ago. And they're only 6 months years old. 6 months. I'm 6 months years old. They're only 6 months though. That right there just made me nervous, bro. I told y'all. Bears up there. Bears.
And Miss Piova-san had raised them since they were pups and saw them as her own children. She fed them beef, roadkill, or any scraps of meat that she could find. Miss Piova-san had received several complaints from her neighbors in the past, but they were mostly concerned just with the noise and the canines howling. One possible reason for the attack was that the animals were confined to a plot of land that was just too small for them. A pack that size would normally require 50 to 100 square miles in order to roam. Another possibility was that the animals were particularly agitated as the attack had occurred during their mating season. Number 2. Andre Lumbosa. In August of 2011, Andre Lumbosa went on a 2-week holiday at the end of the Ramadan religious festival, leaving his dogs behind without any access to water or food. Within just the first couple days, 2 of the weaker, smaller dogs were eaten by the larger ones. On the 31st of August, Mr. Lumbosa returned home. After leaving his luggage by the front door, he entered the house to greet his pets. Hunger, however, had changed the dogs he once knew into feral, ravenous carnivores that lunged at the first piece of meat to walk inside the house in almost 2 weeks. They tore the man apart, reportedly decapitating him and layering the house with blood and pieces of his body. A neighborhood guard was passing the house a few days later and happened to notice the luggage that Mr. Lumbosa had left on his front steps. As the guard approached the house, he felt a strange smell coming from inside and alerted the authorities. Before the police could even enter the residence, they had to neutralize the dogs. The gruesome scene they discovered once inside led them to the conclusion that the man had been butchered by his 7 canines. Number 1.
Y'all about to make me go upstairs and say I love you to my dogs a million times. Just every time I walk by them from now on, be like, you know I love you, right? It's me. It's me. You know I love you. No, you the man. No, you the dog. You know what I'm saying? Just establish that communication with them.
Gypsy the Python. In July of 2009, an albino Burmese python attacked and killed a 2-year-old girl in Oxford, Florida. The toddler was discovered in her cot with the python coiled around her lifeless body and its fangs sunk into her forehead. It was preparing to swallow her whole. The girl's mother, 21-year-old Jaren Hare, and her boyfriend, 34-year-old Charles Darnell, were convicted of third-degree manslaughter along with child neglect and sentenced to 12 years in prison. The python, named Gypsy, had been a member of the household for over 5 years. In the months leading up to the incident, the serpent, measuring approximately 8 feet and 2 inches, had been starved as the family could no longer afford to feed it. Its last meal had consisted of a squirrel it found on the side of the road. When it was recovered, Gypsy only weighed a life-threatening 13 pounds as opposed to their normal weight of 120 pounds. The tank in which it was kept was improperly secured, with a duvet thrown over the top, tethered loosely with bungee cords and safety pins. It had already escaped a number of times prior to attacking 2-year-old Cheyenne, but still, the family made no improvements on its enclosure and continued to ignore feeding it properly. When Mr. Darnell saw the serpent serpent coiled around his toddler, he stabbed it several times with a 6-inch knife and meat cleaver in a desperate attempt to save his girl. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Researchers theorize that both
Those be the ones that get me every time. Ah, man, that poor little girl, man. Sheesh. Y'all got snakes, y'all got animals, man. Be careful, bro. And I'm speaking that to myself. Like I said, I'm finna go up there and just love on my pets for the next few hours, man. Whatever they want, they can have. They want to go out to eat, I'm gonna take them out to eat. They you know what I mean? They want to go see a movie, I'm gonna take them to go see a movie. I'm about to wine and dine my pets, bro. You know what I'm saying? Take them out on a date. Everything, bro. I'm finna wine and dine my pets, man. This video right here shook me. All right. So if you're an animal owner, pet owner, whatever, take care of your pets, bro. Take care of your pets. And I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought of this video. Run up the likes and stick around and stay tuned, man. Until the next reaction, I'm out. Peace, y'all. Stay solid. Hey.